Welcome to the SharkPreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Green. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Green is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Do you want to become insanely successful? Do you want to be the go-to guru in your industry? Do you want to be talked about for all the right reasons? For over 40 years, Kevin Harrington has helped people just like you become significant influencers. Now he's broken the process down in the Key Person of Influence roadmap, and it's yours for free. Just text KPI to him at 727-888-2100. Text KPI to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free step-by-step guide. Text KPI to 727-888-2100 to get the recognition you deserve and experience the success as the go-to voice everyone listens to in your industry today.
Welcome to the SharkPreneur podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Green. Today I've got the good fortune to interview James Soto of Where Industrial. Founded Industrial Strength Marketing in 2003 with a unique goal in mind to help industrials transition from traditional to technology marketing. James, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me, Seth.
All right, so we don't get to interview folks who serve industrial clients very much, so I'm fascinated. So why start an industrial marketing firm?
That's the first thing people said to me. Like, why start? Like, why are you starting an industrial marketing firm of all things? So I came up through the 90s, so I'm a Gen Xer, kind of grew up with Atari and Pong and, the first cellular phones. And in the 90s, I got a chance coming out of college to work in the technology industry around the convergence of cellular and funny numbers that became Bluetooth standards. And I got recruited by an industrial directory company, which essentially was the industrial yellow pages. This goes back, you think about 98, Google was formed. And so about 2002, they recruited me because they were looking for folks with new DNA. They had a transition to be like basically they were the Google of industrial search, connecting buyers with suppliers. And they realized, that 4 or 5 years that Google formed, everything was changing. So they had one, transition print to digital. 2, they needed to really look at, the sourcing patterns changing traditionally in B2B and industrial. And I came on board. I was part of that transformation to what became a digital property and a digital directory, and worked with over about 150 businesses, accounts, ran a big part of it, and saw that these industrials, there's like 258,000 of them in the United States. They absolutely were behind the curve in technology and digital. And there was no one serving them. So when you find a problem that's underserved in the market, you may have a business there. And so I love just the name Industrial Strength Marketing. It's basically, it's in our name. It's what we do.
Yeah.
It's self-descriptive. And, our friends just call us Industrial now. Formed it. And we've been very, very fortunate. We've been growing. We're here 17 years later, considered one of the top fully integrated brand and business growth consultancies, fully digital, and obviously clearly focused on the marketing sciences. So yeah, it was because there was no one serving it. And still to this day, we see very few that are unapologetically industrial and focused on that segment.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Great journey. Great. I'm sure the longer version, if it hasn't, should be in a book. So let's talk about, so what are the industrial firms that are hiring you? What are the problems that they're hiring you to solve? And like, how does that work? If you want to give us an example, this is a company that we worked with. This is what their issue was. This is how we solved it. And this was like the magical transformation that occurred.
Yeah. So so there's so many of this company, right? So let me tell you like the pattern. So the pattern is that one, many industrials still have the marketing function is either missing, mismanaged, or misunderstood. And it's usually a leadership issue. They don't have a good relationship with marketing and specifically digital. And so for me, the problem was there's literally not even a marketing function in so many, like thousands and thousands of industrial businesses. And so that's the problem, really starting with convincing them that marketing should be established in its rightful place as a distinguished marketing function. So really what those case studies look like is this. We basically figure out where they are with the current state of their sales and marketing function, whether it's marketing doing sales fulfillment and stuff. And then we really look at their readiness. So we really assess, what do they know about their business on, from marketing technology, all the enabling marketing and sales technology, positioning their business brand, like business modeling, and what business are you in? How do you compete? And how do you really identify the customer and those value propositions that address a specific market segment because there's a problem at the root, like basic business stuff. And so we go through that process, we get them, clarity and alignment, and then we really start to get them literally on the same page so they could start to really have the right rhythms and measures and actually commit to making marketing a strength of their business. And so that the way those stories play out, we really focus on their readiness. We then build the foundation and all the plumbing, technology, marketing automation, CRM, and then we actually execute the integrated marketing sciences and measurement. And then essentially, what we go from a state where they're not ready to when they're really building it. And then the end result of that case study is that a very common case study is that we're not debating the efficacy of marketing. We're talking about how to do it better. And specifically, we're always looking more and more digital. And so that's really our macro case study.
All right, and that makes a whole lot of sense. Can you give us, so for a lot of our audience, they may be entrepreneurs in what we would call a traditional or a regular, more easily understood business. So can you give us an example of an industrial company, the widget they actually manufacture, and then how your process helped them get found or sell more widgets?
So the widgets we manufacture?
No, the widgets your clients manufacture.
Yeah, so when we find a company that's really trying to create a product, we really address, find the addressable market. We really start to look at, I think, very standard things that folks look at. We want to sell more of X, Y, and Z. We want to understand who that customer is. And the first thing we want to do right away is shift the center to the customer and really make it about their needs and wants. So what we really start to do is align around how do we understand where that product comes in? How does it really solve a problem? Or maybe gives them a functional, some capability, right? And then essentially understand, like, how do we deliver value in terms of helping them, really connect that, that problem or, quite frankly, need they have to the solution that they have ultimately. And for our approach, it's literally about creating engaging, useful, and actionable content. And hitting people wherever they are, whenever they're there, however they may be looking. And so that's it. And I think a tenet that we believe in is persistence. So you have to be targeted, you have to be persistent, because you don't know the velocity of a sale. Some sell capital equipment, like machine tools, some sell components that go into them. So if you look at the whole sector, that's essentially what we do. We're connecting industrial buyers with suppliers. And we're basically making sure that we hit them at the needs awareness stage. We go through all the way through comparison consideration, and we look at that industrial. What's unique about it is we're dealing with a decision-making unit often. So there's multiple people, and the process is not linear. The buying processes, they're looping back and forth, and they're looking for different content at different phases, and they challenge your assumptions of what they're buying while they're doing that, and understanding the more clarity of their needs. So as industrial marketers, we have to very often really look at how do we give them the right information at the right time, because for them, if they make the wrong decision and they put that part in a Nissan Sentra, you may have 100,000 problems. So there's interdependency, so that the way industrial works is there's a marketplace of 4,000 companies going into that one car, and each so many important decisions that add to costs and provide competitive advantage go into it. So that's how we do it. We focus on the customer. We understand that interdependency and understand the buying unit, so the right people go to the right people at the right time. And when that happens, they're going to get what they want. they're going to be able to build, work, and close pipeline.
Awesome. That makes a lot of sense. What do you like best about what you do?
It's people, right? We're human beings, and what I like to do is finding a moment, whether we do business or not, just to make someone better for having known and or work with me. It's very simple.
Awesome. And then who's your ideal client?
Our ideal client, we actually document that. We want a friend in business. We're looking for attention. We want them to roll up their sleeves. We want someone who understands that we may need resources, and essentially we'll guarantee a result if they do. And so we want the ideal customer to work closely with us. And for us, we absolutely focus on some ideal client profiles. We look for big industrial brands that may have a family of brands. I'll give you an example, of a company we work with. One of the brands in their portfolio is an industrial brand, so they don't know how to deal with it. So, we get calls and people kind of look at us like Stanley Black & Decker and say, hey, we've got this industrial tools division. We need someone with the DNA, understands that whole process and how to sell that. This is not a consumer-based type, value proposition or, marketing strategy. So those types of folks, but manufacturers, distributors, industrial services companies, industrial Internet of Things, technology of the future type companies. And we also focus on a lot of companies that are filling the skilled labor gap. So there's a big competitive talent challenge out there. So those are some of the things we do.
Awesome. And then for our viewers and listeners who want to learn more, who maybe are in the industrial space, where is the best place for them to go to learn more about you?
Yeah, the best place to really learn more about us, there's two things we're doing. We're trying to just give people value. And so it's getmarketingready.com. It's actually an assessment we do so people know if it even makes sense for us to talk. And if they're interested in looking at the company, they can look at industrialstrengthmarketing.com. We have an industrial strength marketing podcast and one I'm launching specifically called The Industrialist. But really, industrialstrengthmarketing.com is where you see the most of what I do.
Awesome. This has been Seth Green from SharkPreneur with James Soto of industrialstrengthmarketing.com. James, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks, Seth.
Thanks, everybody, for watching or listening. We'll talk to you next time.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.